Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski.
We have TV's Kyle and Linzilla with us.
Hey, guys.
Hello!
And Ink.
Welcome to episode 535 of the Funny Music Podcast for September 17th, 2020. Clobberin the Bellhammer. No reason.
Yay. It's Clobberin Bellhammer in the morning.
Yes. Sure, why not? So I guess we'll go right into this.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey!
What?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Same thing, except I got some good news. Not not good news in the sense of me landing a full-time storyboarding job at a studio, which is my ultimate goal, but I got a couple of potential lines of employment that are in the works to become a thing in the coming 2 weeks. The first was one of the people who I applied to be a delivery driver for ease.com, which is, marijuana type products. And they have a few different locations around the Valley area, and one of them got back to me. And the reason they got back to me is because the person who was doing the pulling of people's names and interviewing and such hosted a couple of comedy shows that me and Colin Lindsay and the Bards have done out
cool.
here. So he recognized my name and is like, oh, I'll pull him because he knows I'm a human that exists. And,
he's funny and therefore knows how to drive.
Yes. Yeah, so I did a little Zoom interview with him earlier today. Why are you noise-making phone? So anyway, so yeah, I had a Zoom discussion with him earlier, and I need to send in some info so they can do the official background check stuff, just like I did with Lyft. So within a week or so, I'm going to do another meeting.
There was a drug test for this job.
Yeah. I was at CVS yesterday to drop off a prescription, and I noticed there for the first time I've noticed this at CVS that there are drug tests that you can buy at the drugstore, which I know, like, that seems appropriate, but yet I was like, really? I didn't know that was a thing, that it was that easy. You could just go to your local CVS and find out if your kid is doing the cocaine or whatever. So anyway, yeah, so it looks like that's going to be happening. I'll have another meeting in about a week or so where they do some over Zoom training about it, and then I guess they'll start letting me put stuff on the schedule. So yeah, that's cool. And then I got another phone call yesterday from Ken Matroni, who of course always
just filming a special down the hall.
Yes, he always calls in his Jack Benny voice, and this really isn't even a Jack Benny voice. This is a Luke doing Ken doing Jack Benny voice.
Hello again. This is Kenny calling for Luke.
Yeah. So he's been working on a bunch of he's had regular jobs as well, but in between the big jobs, he's been doing a bunch of short animatics for a company doing a bunch of short cartoons for an educational app for kids. And they have a deadline they're trying to hit and get a certain number of these things done by the end of October. And Ken said that he can only do so much, and if he wants to hire if the guys he's working for want to hit their deadline, they should hire another board artist. And they said, well, anybody who's available? And he said, yes, I know Luke. So I talked to Ken yesterday, and I talked to this guy Brian today, and he's going to send me one of their basically they said they're really short, they're really rough, and that I could knock them out within like a day or a half a day, depending on there's some that are more basic and some that are a little more involved, but that I'd be paid individually for each one I get done, and then I'd probably be doing about 3 or 4 a week from now till the end of October. So this is really a really good thing for me to be doing. I sent him my address and other info, so he's going to send me some stuff. I'm going to try to get to a certain point in Wally's animatic tonight to render some stuff and send it to him so that he can have some time to look at it and give me some notes if he has any. And in the meantime, I will tomorrow, after we record the Tunes podcast, I'll work on knocking out one of those for him and getting that established. So yeah, I'm still going to be looking, in the grand scheme of things, looking for a studio full-time boarding job like I want to work. But in the meantime, doing ease delivery driving and doing these little animatics are certainly a way better way for me to make money. Plus the fact that driving ease is going to be so much better than driving Lyft because I won't have any passengers in the car, so I can just put my backlog of 2020 Dr. Demento episodes in and just listen and listen and listen and not have anyone be weirded out by my weird music. So yay.
This job'd be great if it weren't for all the customers.
Really.
That's
the ugliest damn bong I've ever seen.
I look forward to when ease.com is so mainstream that Sesame Street does a parody of it where they're just delivering the letter E.
So yeah, what have you been up to, Devo?
Well, mostly this, the FuMPCast compilation. It took far longer to put that together than it should have. I was hoping to have that done and up in the store by Sunday when your song went live, and I didn't make it. So I've been working on that. I've been working on other FuMPFest related stuff, and FuMP stuff too. I've been working on the FuMP Volume 82 cover, which also isn't done yet, but will be soon because now that that's done, I can focus on that. And the other thing I did was I ran a 5K this morning. So the reason this happened was every year my job joins this Verizon sponsored 5K, and for the past 2 years I've done it. I've never managed to run the entire 5K without having to stop to walk, but I've completed them. And this year, because of the whole COVID thing, they decided to make it a, do the 5K on your own time, wherever you feel safe type situation. So rather than getting, 2,000 people together in a high school in New Jersey and then sending them around Montclair, they said just, do it. You have until September 17th to submit your time. Those of you paying attention may notice that today is September 17th. So the other day, the woman from HR emails everyone who signed up and said, hey, you only have until Thursday to submit your time. And I was like, wait a minute. We were supposed to get a T-shirt and a piece of paper with a number on it that we were supposed to, wear and take a picture when we were done and everything. And I never got that. And she goes, weird. Let me ask around. And she asked all the other people who signed up, and everyone, nope, we never got it either. Nope. And several people were like me, were waiting for the T-shirt and the bib to come in. So it's like, okay, I guess that's not happening. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess Thursday I'm running a 5K. So I was going to do it after work today, but then my son had to get up at 5:45 to go to swim, and guess who had to take him? And I was like, well, if I'm going to be up anyway, I might as well just freaking run in the morning. So I did, and yay. I think it was my slowest time ever. I run at the middle school where my son goes. They have just a walking path around their fields. So it's like there's a soccer field, a couple baseball fields, and a football field, and the path just goes all the way around it. And using the scientific method of Google Maps and Adobe Illustrator, I was able to measure the path and roughly calculate how many laps is a 5K. And it turns out that 4 laps is pretty much exactly 5K. So I managed to run 2 laps, and then I had to walk a half a lap, and then I managed to run just about the rest of it. So I did okay, but, slowest time ever. I did a 5K. So Kyle, what have you been up to?
I've been updating I don't remember if this is where I was at last time I was on the show, but I pitched to a bunch of studios, not to networks yet, just studios. And as a result of kind of the feedback I got and, just kind of listening to and watching reactions on Zoom as I pitch, I realized a bunch of changes I wanted to make to the pitch to strengthen it. This is not something I usually do. Like, I normally don't make any changes to an active pitch for the most part. But, this is my dream pitch, and so I'm like trying to make it like really have a fighting chance. But in addition, like, pitching over Zoom is like a completely different animal. I prefer it greatly, and I find it much easier to judge reactions this way. And so, I've been updating the story concepts mostly. Like, I feel, fairly confidently that they used the characters' personalities strongly enough, but they didn't necessarily use the setting or our theme quite well enough. So I've been writing new stories to improve that. And now, like, having, this is the Caffeine and Punky concept, which is, the one that Luke did the voice of Caffeine Cat for that little test. Having, like, written these stories and, written that, like, I feel like I know the characters a lot better than when we started. And so I'm like, oh, no, like, Caffeine and Punky's character descriptions aren't really properly explaining what they're like. And so now I feel like I should probably rewrite those. I've been trying to, like, finish all of these updates before this week is through because it's kind of been my albatross. But between, like, heat waves and bad air, it's been a little bit difficult for me to stay focused. And actually, I've been making a lot more progress at night than during the day when I'm trying really hard to make progress. So, but I'm getting there.
How is the smoke up by you? Brett G in the chat asked me to ask you guys.
Better than it was.
We can currently see the mountains.
Ooh.
We're for a while.
We've been judging it entirely by how well we can see, like, the Burbank Hills from our window.
Mm-hmm.
And for almost all of last week and part of this week, we could either not see them at all or not see them very well. Right now, we're seeing them pretty good. So,
okay,
yeah.
So things are improving. That's good. So, okay, so Luke, we're going to do this slightly out of order because Kyle and Lindsay are here and nobody else is. I do have a pre-recorded interview with Craig Marks, and Larry Tritel is experiencing some epic technology failures right now, so we were not able to schedule anything with him. So, Luke, you posted a song that you guys did. It's something that I may have heard of. You want to talk about that?
We spent a lot of time debating back and forth, me, Devo, and Ian, on various things that could be done during FuMPFest at Home 2020, at opening ceremonies, at closing ceremonies, and this and that. And I came up with the notion fairly near towards the end of our planning, like with about a week or so to go, to close the closing ceremonies and wrap everything up with myself, aided by Kyle and Lindsay, who I later asked permission, and they asked if they would be willing to, and they said yes.
Hey, Kyle plays accordion. Let's volunteer him.
I pitched the idea, and you said yes. Ask them, and then I asked them, and then they said yes, and then we did the thing. So we had the right combination of people and music and noise making things to do a pretty faithful on-the-fly cover of Weird Al Yankovic's "Another One Rides the Bus" to close out the FuMPFest at Home 2020 ceremonies, knowing that just a couple weeks after that was going to be the 40th anniversary of the live recording of that song on the Dr. Demento show. So here is our version right now.
In the bus down the boulevard, and the place was pretty packed. Yeah. Couldn't find a seat, so we had to stand with the perverts in the back. It was smelling like a locker room. There was junk all over the floor. We're already packed in like sardines, so we're starting to pick up more. Look out! Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. And another comes on, and another comes on. Another one rides the bus. Hey, he's gonna sit by you. Another one rides the bus. There's a suitcase poking me in the ribs, there's an elbow in my ear. There's a smelly old bum standing next to me, hasn't showered in a year. I think I missed the contact lens, I think my wallet's gone, and I think this bus is stopping again. Let a couple more freaks get on. Look out! Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. And another comes on, and another comes on. Another one rides the bus. Hey, he's gonna sit by you. Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. Ow! Another one rides the bus. Hey, hey! Another one rides the bus. Hey, 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 yeah! There's another one and the fans broke and my face is turning blue. Yeah. I haven't seen a crowd like this since I went to see the Who. Oh, I should have got off a couple miles ago, but I couldn't get to the door. There isn't any room for me to breathe, and now we're gonna pick up more. Yeah! Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. And another comes on, and another comes on. Another one rides the bus. Hey, he's gonna sit by you. Another one rides the bus. Go! Yeah! Yeah!
So that was kind of epic, and it was probably my favorite part of the evening. I was just watching you guys do that, how everything worked so well. Brett G in the chat says he's amazed at how well Lindsay was able to play the duck call through the mask. But yeah, because we had talked about doing this, as Luke said, fairly shortly before FuMPFest was when we decided to do this. And the fact that you guys were able to pull it off and pull it off so well, with like a week of practice time or whatever, I was really impressed and really happy with how it came together.
Yeah, I don't think Lindsay and I knew we were doing FuMPFest at all until like a week before.
You're not the only ones.
But yeah, when Luke asked about this, I'm like, because like I'm not a super virtuous accordion player, but this is just plunking out the melody. So like when he asked, I'm like, let me practice and find out. And so I picked up the accordion, played along with the song, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get this to a reasonably good place in a week. And then Lindsay and I practiced for a week. Let's see, a couple of notes. So practicing here at home, we are not wearing masks. So when we got to Luke's to actually play it, it's like I kind of have to like stare at the keys to make sure that I'm playing it right. And it's like, oh, this mask is actually kind of impairing my view a little bit here. So it was perhaps slightly clunkier in execution than it was in practice, but I still feel happy that we, got through it reasonably well. And kind of like the slapdash, nature of the thing kind of makes it work anyway. Yeah. We're banging out accordion cases. We're
with a spatula, no less.
Yeah.
Whose idea was the spatula?
Oh, the wooden spoon.
Oh, that's what that was. I thought it was a spatula. Oh well.
Yeah, it was a wooden spoon with a dish towel wrapped around it, because the first time we practiced, I just used my hand and it hurt. Oh. Like I don't have like a proper we have like some drumsticks, but I don't have like a proper like bass drumstick. But yeah. So I wrapped the wooden spoon with a dish towel so that I wouldn't hurt the accordion case, and that worked a lot better for me.
Oh, okay.
Lindsay Carosa on the contraption.
So I'm looking up some info here because I want to make sure I have my information correct. So all right, the song "Eat It" came out in 1984, February of '84. Okay, so the first time I heard of Weird Al Yankovic at all was sometime in late 1982. I don't know the exact date. I just was looking up when the songs on this particular LP I'm about to show everybody came out. And the most recent one appears to be Valley Girl, which was released in June of 82. And this album was released in 82. So sometime in the back half of 82, my a friend of my sister's who was in the same like dance recital class got this album that's called Just for Laughs, and it was a K-Tel album. For those of you who are too young to know what that is, K-Tel was a company that put out compilation albums, and they would have advertisements for them on TV all the time. It's like, hey, here's your, top disco hits called blah, 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 the K-Tel collection, like whatever. So they put out a collection of popular comedy songs of the time. I think I'm kind of guessing that it was Valley Girl that kind of brought this album into existence. But just to read down the track listing on here, side one, we have Take Off it's by Bob and Doug McKenzie, but it's listed as Doug and Bob McKenzie. It's like, what the hell?
Okay.
Who I also had never heard of at that point in my life. Let's see, 82, I would have been 8 years old. Yeah. So anyway, Valley Girl by Frank and Moon Zappa, Double Dutch Bus by Frankie Smith, Telephone Man by Mary Wilson, Money by Flying Lizards. And here's another, I always thought, maybe this is like one of those things I just kind of made up in my head. I always thought that the lead vocalist on Money by Flying Lizards was Yoko Ono.
You did?
Or if it's not Yoko Ono, it's somebody doing an impression of her. So anyway, then we have My Bologna by Weird Al Yankovic. That's the bathroom version. Shut Up You Face by Joe Dolce. Side 2 begins with Another One Rides the Bus by Weird Al Yankovic. Marty Feldman Eyes by Bruce Baum.
Nice.
Peter the Meter Reader by Mary Wilson. The Bertha Butt Boogie Part 1 by the Jimmy Castor Bunch.
Yeah.
Cow Patty by Jim Stafford. In the Mood by Henhouse 5 plus 2, which I think might be actually Ray Stevens. I'm
pretty sure that's Ray Stevens.
Yeah, and then the last track is Jingle Bells Laughing All the Way by somebody who just goes by Saint Nick. So this is what the cover of the album looks for. It is listed at WeirdAl.com. And for those of you looking on the video version, I actually had Al autograph it to Lupski, so that made me very happy. This isn't the actual LP from my youth. I managed to track down another copy of this through a friend of our friends over at the Scope podcast. His name is Ron Boogie Monster Gerber. Every year or two, I would do searches for this, and when we did the first FuMPFest, and I was going around putting up the flyers for FuMPFest 2014 around Chicago, and I hit like every record store from like downtown Chicago north up to about Evanston, and I just hit everything and I couldn't find it. And then I finally found online Ron Boogie Monster Gerber listed that he had this record, and I like emailed him. It's like, I'm a friend of the Scope, please sell me your album, I'll pay anything. And he sold it to me for like $20. So I finally had a copy of this to frame and have as my own and have Al autograph it. And the reason why I'm talking about this album so much is because this album is the first time I ever heard of Weird Al Yankovic at all in, mid to late 82. And I would not hear anything from Al again until Eat It came out in 84. So for that year and a half, the audio on those two tracks, the bathroom version of My Bologna and Another One Rides the Bus, was like my only knowledge of who this person was. Like just because it didn't seem like, there's all these other people on here. There's Frank Zappa. There's all these, it's like, the name didn't really stand out, but I really dug the tracks, and I just really, really dug Another One Rides the Bus because it was just so weird. I'm pretty sure at that age I knew what Another One Bites the Dust, that I had heard that before. I had heard my parents reference the song and maybe heard it a little bit, so I got that on a basic level. But there was just all the weirdness of all the noises and the little hand farts and the, I didn't even know that's what they were, but like just it was so bizarre that I just wanted to listen to that track over and over and over again. And I also had no idea what Weird Al Yankovic looked like. For some reason, when I was 8 years old, I assumed that he was a really fat guy. For some reason, maybe it was like, I don't know, just the notion like he did a song about Bologna and then he has another song where there's all these fart noises. For some reason in my head, that equated to a fat guy. And in reality, Al is like the skinniest human being ever. So so it was like that was the beginning. I mean, so not only was that such an important moment in Weird Al's career, but for me, the existence of that song is, as a part of this album, was the part of the matrix that, like, I listened to lots of comedy stuff before, but it was mainly on children's albums. My parents let me listen to the Steve Martin album because King Tut was on it, but that was still mostly stand up with just one song. So I just kind of view this album, Just for Laughs, K-Tel 1982, as being like, this is the first album of comedy music that was made for an adult audience that I heard, and it just made me really hooked into this concept even more and just got really interested in it. So that's why, to this day, I mean, 20 years ago, I did my song Come On Ride the Bus to honor the 20th anniversary of it. So it's just like the song has major significance.
I heard of this song long before I heard the song, because the song came out in 1980, kind of went viral. There were, radio stations around the country had picked it up and were playing it. And I'd never heard it, but I distinctly remember being on the bus going to school and having kids around me singing it. And I thought it was really funny. And I was like, oh, somebody must have made that up. I also remember them singing 99 Dead Baboons. So I don't know how that got around, but I remember hearing that song. And then it was a couple of years later, my friend Dave from Sudden Death, MC Squared from Sudden Death, he had the 45 of, I know he had the Gotta Boogie 45, and I don't remember what was on the back of that. And he had the 45 of Another One Rides the Bus. I don't remember what was on the back of that either. Maybe it was 145 with the two songs on it. I don't know. But I remember that was really the first time I heard it. And I was like, oh, I remember this. I remember kids singing this. I remember liking it and stuff. And that was like my first exposure to Weird Al. And I remember we had a black and white TV on our back porch because it was able to pick up a UHF music station. And my cousins, who were a couple years older than me, who lived with me, like to go out and watch it. And they called me out there one day, and they were like, "You got to check this out. You'll love this." And it was the video for Ricky, and so that was like all of those kind of got me into Weird Al. And I remember when I finally picked up Al's debut album, I was disappointed that he hadn't re-recorded Another One Rides the Bus to sound more studio like. Of course, now I'm glad he didn't. But when I was a kid, I was like, why didn't he do that? It would have sounded so much better, if he tried to match the music. Anyway,
do we know for sure that he didn't try to?
I don't know that he never tried to.
A situation in which he re-recorded it, for the album, but decided he liked the energy of the Dr. Demento version better.
Yeah, I don't know the story behind that. That's a question for Al.
Well, even when he performs it live as a part of like the big old song medley, he just has Bermuda, hit the bass drum to keep the beat, and then have like that things happening. So even when he does it live, they don't all start kicking in with the proper Queen version. It's like, nope, we're keeping it the way it was originally. And I wanted to mention though, there's for a while, me and Stephanie were buying and getting a karaoke CDs because we were trying to build up a karaoke collection. And there's a company called Sweet Georgia Brown who puts out like the cheapest karaoke CDs ever, and they put out it's like it dawned on them like, oh, we got all these songs that Weird Al has parodied. Why don't we just relicense them and put out a Weird Al version? All we have to do is change the words. So on that cheap album, oh my God, it was so cheap. On their version of the Saga Begins, they spelled Obi-Wan, O-B-I space J-U-A-N.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So Los Casos Locos. Anyway, so on that Sweet Georgia Brown CD, they took the music of Queen's Another One Bites the Dust and put it with the lyrics so that you're hearing the Queen version. And I'm just like listening. I'm like, no version Al has ever put out has sounded like this. And another thing that's weird about all the Sweet Georgia Brown things is they put a continual nonstop sound of an audience cheering throughout the entirety of every song in all of their albums. So like you're trying to do their version of grapefruit diet, and you're constantly hearing.
Oh my God, that's awful.
It's so horrible. So it's like
whose idea was that?
So yeah, I mean there's a bunch of good Al karaoke tracks out there if you can find them. But that particular CD, it's like whenever I'm at a karaoke place and I see Al is on it, I can just look at their list of songs and I'm like, oh yeah, they ripped this from the Sweet Georgia Brown collection. Stay away from all those. Or like you'll see like the Sweet SGB. Like if I see SGB before the number, I'm like, okay, avoid that with all costs. But what was the other thing I was just about to say? Crap. Oh, I was gonna say because you mentioned the 45 that your friend had. Maybe your friend had a copy of the Placebo EP, which came out in '81, because that was Al's own release on a 7-inch, which had Another One Rides the Bus, Happy Birthday, Gotta Boogie, and Mr. Frump in the Iron Lung. So.
Oh, you know what? Maybe he did.
Yeah.
I was originally gonna say no, he didn't, but maybe that was. I have that right there actually. If I get up and I can reach it. Maybe he did have that. That's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask Kyle and Lindsay, what are their first memories of having heard of Weird Al Yankovic and stuff?
Well, briefly, not to get off topic, but there is a cat growing out of my mutton chops. So I know that Eat It was the first thing I heard, just like on the radio, and like I think my parents knew that I would be excited about it because they made sure that I heard it. But then like, beyond that, like very first, introduction to knowing who Weird Al is at all, I then like became like far more aware of him when UHF came out. Like it took a while for me to actually see UHF, but like I had borrowed my cousin's soundtrack tape of it for years before giving it back, and so that was like. And I think I like still like had several albums like I know that led like the first one that I actually purchased was Dare to Be Stupid, and I don't even know if that was the current one. In fact, it definitely wasn't. I think I just liked the name Dare to Be Stupid, and yeah, it kicked off from there. Because like not long after getting Dare to Be Stupid, I just had to get everything, and it still took me a while to like return UHF after that because it was out of print. And so it's like I was like, I have all of the tapes except like UHF, which is like my favorite. Like at the time, it was my favorite one, possibly because it was the first one I heard all the way. But yeah, how about you, Linz?
So in high school, my best friend Chelsea loved Weird Al, and so she got me into his music. And I think like my freshman year in high school, I think for Christmas or my birthday, I requested a bunch of Weird Al CDs, and I think the one that had just recently come out was Bad Hair Day. So I got Bad Hair Day, the like Weird Al's Greatest Hits, I think, and then Alapalooza, I think were the ones that I got, and I listened to those just ad nauseum over and over again. And then I think like it wasn't later until I met Kyle and was hanging out with comedy music nerds all the time that I started hearing more and more of Al's music. But yeah, like he was like one of my most played, him and They Might Be Giants and
Yeah, I'm amazed it wasn't your folks, because the answer is usually your folks.
But yeah, what's surprising is that like my dad was way into Dr. Demento and would walk around singing like Fish Heads and Gorilla My Dreams and like all kinds of like classic Dr. D stuff. But like I don't know if he just wasn't into Weird Al or or
maybe he assumed you were already into it.
That's the thing, is like I don't know if Al was like so ubiquitous that he didn't feel the need to like oh by the way. But yeah, like surprisingly it wasn't my dad, it was my best friend Chelsea.
See, when I first met Jen in college, I happened to spot her collection of cassettes, and she had most of Weird Al in her collection. Oh. And I was like, all right, now we're on to something here. In fact, I think she had one of the Dr. Demento compilations, like maybe the 20th anniversary collection. I'm not sure. But yeah, she was like the only other person I'd ever met who was, or only other girl I had ever met anyway. I did have a couple of male friends who were into Weird Al and Dr. D, but she was the only girl I ever met who was into this, and I was like, okay, we're onto something here.
I shall have that one.
Yes.
So be careful, ladies. If you find yourself collecting these things, you might attract one of us weirdos.
Yes. You're going to attract one of us weirdos.
Yes, and I met my first wife, Stephanie, at Alcon 98, so...
I took Jen to Alcon 98. She was one of the few conventions she's been to with me. So I have the Placebo EP here. If you people have not seen it,
I don't even have one of them.
I got this at one of the Alcons, I believe, and it is autographed by Al. I think this was at Alcon 3. They were either selling them or raffling them or something. So I made sure I picked that up. So
that's one of the rarities that I don't have.
Yeah. So I wanted to mention this song, our cover of Another One Rides the Bus, is on the FuMPFest 2020 At Home compilation album. In fact, it's track number 27.
Hey! By design?
No. Well, sort of. What happened was I was doing the track list, getting everything up, and I had gotten down to the Consortium of Genius songs. And I was like, all right, I got 2 songs from the COG, and then Another One Rides the Bus will be track number 27. And something, I forgot what it was. I think I ended up cutting a track, and that moved everything back one. And I was like, okay, well, I have to rearrange something. I put in the us talking about getting the COG to FuMPFest at the end, because I thought your line about there being continuity was really funny. So that's in there too. So that corrected the universe, and it is back to being track 27. And when this afternoon, I cut out the video of the performance to play on the podcast just now, and that video is 27 megabytes. So that was also not by design.
Yay!
We planned that.
No. And if those of you out there who don't know what we're talking about when we reference the number 27, just Google the 27 list.
Yeah.
Weird Al, and I'm sure you will find it. Yeah. But yeah, also it's worth pointing out that all 3 of us, during the rest of FuMPFest, because we were all in our own spaces and we weren't wearing masks, but when they came over to do this at my place so that we were all in the same space, all 3 of us are wearing masks during this, so there is a slight muffling to my voice and Lindsay's voice that you can pick up on if you're paying close attention, because I'm sitting there going like, oh man, now not only do I need to project, I need to make sure I'm projecting and enunciating to get through this piece of fabric and into the microphone. But the good thing is we didn't need a pop filter, so that's good.
And I got to say, the first time Lindsay went, yeah, I lost it. That was great.
Bassman of some note, Lindsay.
I want to make that noise my text alert noise. Just Lindsay from my pocket going, yeah.
I was worried about getting all of the little weird noises and grunts and yas in the right place, and I had written myself a little post-it note that I taped to the accordion case. It's like, okay, this is what happens here. And then I get to Luke's place, and he's of course gone to Kinko's and printed out a big 8x11 or 11x14 giant poster size of all the lyrics and where all of the different noises go. I'm like, oh, okay. Of course I didn't need to worry about this.
It was all annotated and color coded and stuff.
It wasn't color coded, but it was. Yeah, I had them printed on 11x17 cardstock, and I just kind of taped them together so it was one big thing and set it on my my music stand. I think I did that mainly because I was worried about not getting all the lyrics to Small Round Yoda, and then I just said to myself, well, if I'm going to go all the way to Kinko's just for that song, I might as well do, all of the songs I'm performing, including Another One Rides the Bus. So
it was very, very helpful.
Yeah.
And the most challenging thing about performing that song was, when it goes into the bridge, that bridge lasts exactly 8 measures. But due to the part where it gets all, I'm assuming Dr. D was on the knobs, turning the echo up and down and making it all like kind of stuff. It like throws off my clock and able to figure out like, wait, what beat are we on? And I was, in my head going, I'm going to try, but I'm probably going to screw it up and it's not going to matter anyway. So let's just go for it. And then when I listened to the recording afterwards, I timed it out and I'm like, 8, 2, 3, 4, another one. I'm like, yes, I got it. Yes. Because I'm that much of an anal retentive freak of like, it needs to be the right timing. So yeah, I'm proud of myself for my, the force was with me that day, knowing it's like you may lose all track of. It's like Luke turning off the targeting computer. It's like, it's all right. I'm gonna hit this. Another one. Anyway, so yeah. But yeah, and of course, if he's out there listening, thank you so much to Weird Al Yankovic himself, who I was able to get a hold of and asked him like, hey, can I put the song on the FuMP and on our albums and on the live 2020 FuMPfest album? And he was all like, yes, it's all good with him. So thank you so much, Al, for that permission.
It's about that.
Yeah, he is such a skinniest human being.
Because apparently he's a nice man.
He's one of those nice guys that I've heard so much about. Yeah. So, do we have anything else to talk about? Do we want to talk about cartoons?
Beefalo Bill really liked it.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. That's the other thing I was going to mention. Yeah, is Beefalo Bill, who I met at one of Dr. D's gatherings that Jeff Morris put together in recent years. I've been, we've been following each other on Facebook ever since then, and he was one of the people who was there in person and is making the noises in the background and stuff. So when I did my description for this, I wanted to make sure I was giving credit to everybody who was involved, and he pointed me to, if you look around online, you can find a scan of the backside of the placebo EP, which actually lists the credits. So, of course, there is Weird Al Yankovic and John Bermuda Schwartz, who met for the first time ever that day on September 14th, 1980. So that was basically the beginning of Weird Al's band, was that moment. And then, of course, Dr. D is there. I don't know if he actually is audibly heard during the song, but I'm assuming he's like working the echo knobs and stuff like that. And let's see, who else is there? There's Musical Mike Kiefer, who is famous for doing the manualism, the hand music with the... I can't even really do it right. And also Sulu Dubois was also doing that same stuff as well at the same time. Damascus, one of his regulars, was on background vocals. And then we have Beefalo Bill Burke, along with two folks named Tom and Jerry. Tom is spelled Tohm, and Jerry is spelled Jeri. On what they called miscellaneous insanities. So like it just all happened, live there on the air, and that became the huge hit that, got Al international attention, and I'm sure helped, raise the, exposure, or, people trying to find this track. It's like, where is it from? Oh, it's from the show, Dr. Demento. I'm sure that helped get Dr. D's show out there more. So it's like one of these, as they would say on Doctor Who, it's a fixed point in time.
Yes.
This was a convergence of magic and comedy and music that helped, form our universe today. So that's, for all that and all the other reasons we've said, is why I consider this song so important to me, and why I thought covering it might be a good idea. So thank you, Kyle and Lindsay, for making this a reality for me and for everybody.
Yes, thank you. That was awesome.
Our pleasure. I'm happy we were able to pull it off.
It was super fun.
You guys have things you would like to plug?
Well, you can go to tvskyle.bandcamp.com to hear songs that we made. And also, if you go to my YouTube account, just by going to YouTube and searching for TV's Kyle, you will find the video of our performance on FuMPfest if you want to hear what we did and see what we looked like doing what we did. You can watch Mighty Magic Swords, which we both worked on both HBO Max and Hulu. And what else can we watch on Hulu?
You can also watch Solar Opposites on Hulu. Season 1 is up there. We're currently working on Season 2, and those episodes should be out probably around the same time in 2021. I would also like to plug Democracy. Everyone, please vote. Please. All up and down the ballot, all of them, please. And other than that, I'm at THALINZ on most social media sites, although I'm not on social media a whole lot these days because I'm terrified of the internet.
She's smart.
Yeah.
I wanted to say I saw, because I still have a TiVo and watch things recorded from the actual TVs occasionally, and I saw a commercial for the bundle of Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN together, and one of the kind of featured moments in that to plug Hulu, it was showing a few seconds of some funny moment from Solar Opposite. So it's just kind of like, yeah, Lindsay Show is a thing, and it's important. Here, get our service, So
yeah, they're promoting the heck out of us. So hope everybody's enjoying it.
I gotta rewatch that when I have the time.
Yeah, I do too. It's on my list of things I want to rewatch.
Like if those commercials are any indication, Hulu is entirely what we do in the shadows and you guys.
And the new season of Archer.
I'm watching Siren on Hulu.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on the shows. I will see y'all tomorrow when we record the Tunes podcast.
Yay!
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Hello.
Good night, everybody.
It's horrifying. It's nauseating. It's monstrous. It's back. The horror that is the Wackiness on the Rise Halloween Scarathon is back for a second year with another full month of some of the most spookiest funny songs and parodies. What's even scarier is that it's 5 shows. 5 episodes of Halloween music from vampires, werewolves, zombies, ghosts, and the coronavirus? Okay, that's too much, so let's forget about that. 5 one-hour episodes of scary laughs. In total, 5 hours of horror. 5 times the scares, 5 times the laughs. And we'll be scaring the web all the way until the day before Halloween. Join us on Friday, October 2nd to Friday, October 30th for the 2nd annual Wackiness on the Rise Halloween Scarathon on madmusic.com and archive.org. Unless, of course, you're scared.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, Needlejuice Records is now accepting pre-orders for 2 new releases. The first is View Monster by Lemon Demon. This is Lemon Demon's 2008 album, now available on vinyl, CD, and cassette. The Between the Frames vinyl edition is a zoetropic picture disc containing artwork by known Lemon Demon animators Aim Kid and Andrew Keppel. Additionally, there will be a 7-inch vinyl record featuring Something Glowing on a glow-in-the-dark vinyl, or neon red vinyl. This product exists solely so you can listen to the song Something Glowing on a glowing record. This 7-inch will also contain bonus tracks that won't be available on the vinyl editions of View Monster. The other album they are accepting pre-orders for is Problematic by Nuclear Bubble Wrap, a 45-minute genre-hopping roller coaster ride through the hurricane of bullshit that terrorized us our entire lives. It's got killer AI, lonely Mars rover, sexy dinosaurs, vaporware. It's got sleazy politicians. It's got Illuminati ghouls. It's got a theme song for pansexual pantheists. It's even got zombie Elvis. It's got artwork by Casey Green. There will be 3 vinyl variants, CD, cassette, and digital, and each product contains an album commentary and stems. All pre-orders of physical products will come with free CD of Bazooti's Nailbiters Anonymous, as well as bonus downloads of extra songs. Both of these are expected to ship sometime in November. All right, Steve Goody is about to embark on Steve's Big Dumb Virtual Tour. He's performing almost every day, in fact, sometimes twice a day, from now until October 23rd. These are virtual house concerts. You must be invited by the hosts of the concert onto the Zoom call. Visit stevegoody.com for details. The Double Clicks have released a new album called The Giant Voting Mixtape. This is a new digital compilation album that is a fundraiser for the Voter Participation Center. It contains a new song by the Double Clicks called Vote for Joe? plus songs by Lauren Mayer, the Library Bards, Paul and Storm, and many more. And debut or exclusive songs by MC Lars, Professor Shy Guy, Sidecar Astronauts, and Mark Margarine. This is available at justgiving.com/fundraising/please-vote. And the Worm Quartet Kickstarter is up to $4,612. Means he has reached his first stretch goal, and he hasn't announced a second one yet. So we'll have to wait and see if he does another one. There is still 14 days to go if you would like to get in on this one. And we made some announcements about FuMPFest. FuMPFest is taking place August 20th through 22nd, 2021 in Chicago, Illinois at the Westin North Shore, the same place it all started. Our guest of honor is Dr. Demento. He will be there Friday and Saturday. He'll be doing his Festival of Dementia, hosting the Logan Awards, answering questions, and signing autographs. And we've announced the first batch of performing artists. Performing in 2021, Amy Englehart, Bill Larkin, Clearly Guilty, Nuclear Bubble Wrap, Ross Childs, and Worm Quartet. And we will have many more artists and other featured guests to announce in the future. And as I mentioned before, the FuMPFest 2020 compilation is now available from the store at FuMPFest.com or the store at thefump.com. This is a single disc. Since I only had 6 hours of material to choose from rather than the usual, 3 days of material to make a 2 CD set. So this is a 1 CD set. It's only $10. So pick it up at FuMPFest.com or thefump.com. And the other thing I did, each year at FuMPFest, we have a raffle of various items that and this is just to try to raise a little extra money for the convention because it's an expensive event to run, and I traditionally will give away like the poster for FuMPFest, and we'll have all the artists sign it, and that'll be one of the raffle prizes. This year I managed to score this. Dr. Demento presents the greatest novelty records of all time on vinyl, and it's in very good condition. It's I have this myself, but it's all beaten to hell. This is in actually very good condition. So this will be one of the raffle items at FuMPFest. Now, you will have to be at FuMPFest to enter the raffle. You don't have to be there to win. We give it away at closing ceremonies. You don't have to be there to win, but you do have to be there to enter. So if that's something you want, you got to be there. And, of course, this is all pandemic permitting, of course. Hopefully the pandemic will be under control by then and things will be somewhat back to normal. But if we do have to postpone or cancel again, we certainly will. I'm not going to do anything that's going to put anybody in danger, especially not my father or Dr. Demento or anybody else, I care about. All right, last week I mentioned new Facebook guidelines that may mean we may have to stop streaming here. Since then, Facebook has posted some additional information, and some other people have looked into it and gotten some additional information. Basically, what it comes down to is Facebook doesn't want to turn into a listening platform. They want their users engaged, and they don't want people to just upload video after video of still image with music. They said that live performances and live videos are not going to be taken down. We'll see how that goes. So they don't want things like music with still images, multiple songs in a still video, or shorter. They recommend shorter clips. They promise that live stream performances will not be pulled. I still think we're at risk because we do play, if a song doesn't have a video, I put a still image on it to play the song on this show. So we'll see. But as of right now, I have no plans to stop streaming on Facebook. Then again, let's see. We have 0 people watching us on Facebook right now, so who cares? Unless that's just... Maybe we got taken down already from Facebook. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care anymore. Luke, you got anything else?
Yeah. Actually, read the tour dates, and then I'll tell you my thing.
All right, not much for tour dates. On Fridays, we have Escape from the Secret Lab featuring Dr. Pinkerton. Also on Fridays, we have Carla Ulbrich with a weekly show. And damn near every day through October is Steve Goody. And that's all I got.
All right, cool. Our good friend, Donald Coleman, a.k.a. Dr. Don, has had some unfortunate things happen that have been remedied but still cost money and such, and was basically asking if anyone could help him out. He would appreciate it. So if you have a few bucks you could throw in the direction of our awesome friend Dr. Don, who has done many awesome things for the FuMP, for FuMPFest, to keep everything happening here and cool stuff going down, then you can go to, I just had it in front of me. Where did it go? Here it is. Basically, if you go to paypal.me/DRDON911, that's paypal.me/DRDON911. If you can throw some bucks his way, that would be helpful to him, and we here at the FuMP would appreciate it. Let's see, there was that. I'm making notes for myself for a future, for this Monday's Luke Ski update of things I need to make sure I mention. But there is something I want to announce here. I don't have anything up at the MarsCon Dementia website yet, and I probably won't anytime in the near future because I am busy trying to get things done. And it's also, only September. So, but for you listening or watching to this, I can tell you that I can announce the music guest of honor for MarsCon 2021. That would be the one and only Robbie Ellis.
Woohoo!
So yeah, Robbie will come. MarsCon, we are currently planning on having it happen in person at the Hilton like we usually do, but regardless of whether or not it's in person at the Hilton or if things need to change and we need to do some form of at-home version of MarsCon, he will perform in either situation. So no matter what happens, MarsCon 2021 Music Guest of Honor is Robbie Ellis. So
nice.
So just stay tuned to this podcast and to my social media and to the MarsConDementia.com website and also the MarsCon Dementia Track Facebook page. So there you have it. Like I said, if you go to those places, you're not going to see this announcement yet because I've been too busy to make it a thing officially, but it is officially a thing. So there you go, y'all. Robbie Ellis. Yay.
Yay. All right. Here is the second song that was posted this week, followed by a brief interview with Craig Marks. Here is The Ballad of Salvage One.
The Love Boat and Fantasy Island will not be seen tonight, so we can bring you this special presentation.
There was a TV show called Salvage One, and though you may now scoff, Andy Griffith went to space with the help of Isaac Asimov. Salvage One, you'll know about it when we're done. Greatest thing we ever saw, the spaceman who was Obi's boss. Salvage One was a 1979 TV show starring Andy Griffith that envisioned an age when crazy rich guys like Elon Musk would set off for the stars. The creator of the show was Michael Lloyd Ross, who just happened to be a relative of ours. In truth, we barely knew him, but he wrote a show we liked. And cause he worked in Hollywood, we called him Uncle Mike. Salvage One, written by our step-grandmother's son. Pitched a show to ABC, and they said that looks good to me. Andy played a junk man with a crazy dream. He would fly to the moon in a rocket, then bring back Apollo stuff to sell for scrap, the profits of which he'd pocket. He built the ship, it was called the Vulture, a great episode. If not high culture, the network folks were very pleased, and they said, now make 12 more of these. It was the story of a junk man who wasn't really evil. He just wanted a big rocket ship for lunar scrap retrieval. Salvage One, a great adventure had begun back when Andy Griffith rocked between Mayberry and Matlock. Consulting was Isaac Asimov. He thought the first episode was clever. Bigfoot showed up in episode 2. Isaac Asimov said, whatever. ABC had big plans for the series. It didn't pan out. I have some theories, you go to the moon, what's left to do? Got canceled in season number 2. While not a rating smash, Salvage 1 would provide a blueprint for those who would go on to build their own private spaceships, like Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, Scrooge McDuck, and of course that space pioneer, Elon Musk. They say Elon Musk's a pioneer, now that's a lot of bunk. And he did it years before a man who loved his junk. Salvage 1, when the private spaceship war was won. And he built a legacy while Captain Stubing went to sea. It was a one-of-a-kind show, it couldn't be beat. For that we should all salute it, and not tarnish its memory with some dumb remake. I'm just joking, come on, let's reboot it! Let's reboot Salvage 1. Yes, I've gone and said it. Give us our program back and some producer credit. Salvage 1. How about it, Netflix, Amazon? Program for our age. A vehicle for Nicolas Cage. I'll even consider Quibi. No, not Quibi. Salvage 1. Let's remember Salvage 1. Salvage 1. Let's remember Salvage 1. Salvage 1. Let's remember Salvage 1.
I'm here with Craig Marks of the Brothers Marks. In fact, one of the Brothers Marks. How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing good, Devo. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So tell us about Salvage 1. Let's talk about the song first.
It goes back. My grandfather married late in life. He married a very wonderful woman who lived in California, Hollywood, and we've all been Akron people all our lives. So it was quite a culture shock to have someone who was, in LA. So, and then she was very nice, and she had a son named Michael Lloyd Ross, who was a TV writer. He used to, I think, do films for the Army, and I think that's how he got his start. Mm-hmm. And, in 1979, our Grandma C, as we called her, told us that he sold a show to ABC called Salvage 1. And she told us the plot, which seemed very, very weird, especially for ABC. And lo and behold, it came to be, and it was a very, very exciting show called the first movie, the pilot, Salvage 1, was a really, really well-reviewed show with high ratings. It was about Andy Griffith and I think Joel Higgins, who went on to play the dad in Silver Spoons. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the female supporting actress, but
hang on, I have it right here.
Andy Griffith being a junk man who wanted to fly to the moon to get all the junk there and sell it for scrap.
And I've never heard of this show, and it sounds like something that's right up my alley. I mean, I love sci-fi, I love comedy, and I love Andy Griffith. I mean, I've watched, I've watched the Andy Griffith show. I watched Matlock when I was in college, which is weird, but I did. I enjoyed it. I was a big fan of the work he did with Don Knotts over the years, and so I've never heard of this show.
It lasted for 12 episodes from 1979. They kind of, in 1980, they kind of did a Cousin Oliver and added like a little girl character. They tried a couple episodes, and then they just kind of burned the other episodes, and I don't know if they were ever shown. So it lasted, I think, about 20-some episodes.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, there were 20 episodes filmed, and the last 4 were never aired. So
I mean, it seems like something that would be on MeTV or on something, but it's never, as far as I know, has been shown again.
Yeah, I was looking to see if there was any place I could watch this, because I'm genuinely interested in seeing this.
YouTube has the pilot and a couple of episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
You can see the teaser for the second episode, which is the one with Bigfoot.
Okay.
That was the one where, because, we told Grandma C, oh, we loved the first episode, we loved it. And we told her, Oh, and then we saw the second episode, and she just kind of said, yeah, they didn't have as much time to work on that.
What do we do for this one? I don't know. Bigfoot. Okay.
Right.
So you decided the show needed a theme song.
It needed to be remembered. It needed some kind of tribute. And so it's been in my head. I thought it could be a Power Salad song, but it worked much better as a first person song. Mm-hmm. So with my brother being able to sing as, this was our step grandmother's son, it kind of worked better.
Yeah, so that definitely works. So in the proposed reboot of this show, who do you see starring in it?
Oh, there's no other person than Nicolas Cage. It is a definite Nicolas Cage vehicle.
I can see that, yeah. And what about the other two roles?
I had not really considered that. No, I had not considered. I have to give that some thought. But
I'd have to watch the show before I could give you any, suggestions for who might.
I could see Nicolas Cage playing every character.
I could see that too. Yeah. do the Eddie Murphy thing where he just puts on lots of makeup.
Right. Yes.
All the people in the room at the same time. Yeah, that's very cool. So I think it's great that you remembered this show and did a tribute to it because, as I said, I've never heard of it and I want to see it now.
I'm very surprised because I had posted that on the Dr. Demento page on Facebook, and it's gotten quite a few comments. I think a lot of people remember it. A lot of people who do not remember it cannot believe that it could be any good. Mm-hmm. And I think they should check it out. And also, one of the things, the qualities of it, it has the greatest musical, it's like a show tune type theme song, which you wouldn't expect for a show like this, but it just works on it.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. I will definitely watch whatever's up on YouTube of it. And who knows, maybe pilot. If nobody else will do it, I'll reboot it myself. Just film it in my backyard with my kids or something.
Go for it.
So what else is going on with you? How are you handling the pandemic?
Working from home. It's kind of odd. This, the weather in Ohio finally turned autumnal. So this is like the first day of wearing, long pants.
Yeah, me too. I'm wearing long pants today for the first time.
Yeah, so I have to make sure my knees are still there. But so that's unusual. But all in all, we're muddling through.
Okay, well, good to hear it. So is there anything else you wanted to plug or anything you want to talk about?
Other than that, I think you had mentioned that on the show earlier that I have a song on the record, Librarians with Hickeys, which its name is not a comedy group. It's a power pop group reminiscent of what you might find in like the early 2000s. And a song I had written many years earlier, Mike Crooker, who's the guitarist for the band, he got rid of the lyrics, which would have been more Power Salad-ish at the time, and it turned into a teen angst song, a very cool teen angst song, which I had not, imagined it would be when I had written it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we talked about that on the news. We gave it a plug when it was out. My dog is very demanding. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
We look forward to more stuff from you in the future, and maybe a reboot of Salvage One. Who knows?
I would be willing to do a fan version. Like with Princess Bride. Salvage One.
Sure, let's do it. All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
And there's no feedback this week. But we do have a third song by Larry Tritel, who's experiencing some technical difficulties. We weren't able to get him on the show nor pre-record anything. So hopefully he'll be back in the future. But here is Kasha Varnishkiz by Larry Tritel.
Sadie Brown was quite a lady, yes, she was my best pal. And I knew the day I met her that she would be my gal. She cooked a tasty brisket and a great gefilte fish. And Sadie Brown was always sure to make my favorite dish, Kasha Varnishkiz. She made me Kasha Varnishkiz with some schmaltz and onions. She made Kasha Varnishkiz. Is there anything more comforting? Well, I don't think there is. Then sweet Sadie Brown's Kasha Varnishkiz. I've been to all the delis and I've tried it all. And in New York I even had a bite of the world's largest matzo ball. But no one cooked like Sadie. Her food, it was unreal. And she always found the time to make my favorite meal, Kasha Varnishkiz. She made me Kasha Varnishkiz with some schmaltz and onions. She made Kasha Varnishkiz. Is there anything more comforting? Well, I don't think there is. Then sweet Sadie Brown's Kasha Varnishkiz. Then sweet Sadie Brown's Kasha Varnishkiz.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take a chance here because tomorrow's song is not yet posted, but he swears it will be. So tomorrow's song is reportedly by Steve Goody.
Yay!
If tomorrow's song turns out to be by the Belle Isle Rats, that means I switched it with Tuesday. Because the Belle Isle Rats song is posted. So that'll either be up Tuesday or tomorrow if Steve screws up. And this week's Spotify playlist topic is friends and friendship and things like that.
Yay.
All right. So, Luke, plug yourself.
My website is thegreatlukesky.com. You can get my music at lukesky.bandcamp.com. And, yeah, I have literally no idea when I will be making another song or finishing my album. Those are things I want to do, but I don't have the time for them right now. But, you know, if you're really excited about The Mandalorian coming back on, October 30th, you could listen to my song Small Round Yoda and maybe request Dr. D to play it. I don't know. So there's that.
And the Brothers Marks, I don't know if they have a separate website, but they're up on the FuMP. And Larry Tritel, I believe, is at larrytritel.com. And that's it. So let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And Kyle and Lindsay were here, too.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
So, they're on a bus, and they get garbage and they go to space. I love it. Give me 20 episodes.